Hello and welcome, everybody. It is episode 76 of Spreading the Nerd. I'm your host, Clint, and always joined with me is Rick and Nick. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Evening, fellow nerds.
It is evening, even though it's like
going on?
still light out. I like it.
Yes.
So for the show today, we'll be talking about what we've been playing, what we've been doing for the week, of course, the Xbox Purge, and whatever other news we decide to come up with. Depending on time, I got a little game at the end. It's nothing crazy, nothing really I came up with or anything, but just something to lighten the mood if we got some time at the end. But before we go into anything, a little bit of housekeeping. I first want to shout out Ellery, also known as Cinnamon, in our Discord for renting out a Palworld server for the Discord community. Huge shout out to them. We all offered to, pay to help fund the server, and they were like, "Nope, I got it." So there's already been several people joining it and playing it. So thank you very much, Ellery, right up front. That was awesome of you. Thank you. Bravo,
Oh, yeah.
bravo. And then a second, we have next week, just so I don't forget, we have an interview coming up with it's kind of like a bunch of people all at once. It's gonna be like 5 or 6 people, a few people from the main con tabletop alliance, and also podcasters Roland D20s, which is a live D20 podcast. So we'll be doing that. You can find information on all of their things and stuff in our Discord, which is in the description of the show right now. If you want to go check it out, it is free community. Come join our shenanigans. And on that note, Rick, what have you been playing, sir? What have you been doing this week besides catching up on work?
Oh, well. Primarily, I've actually been playing Doom Dark Ages. I had not yet finished it. Actually, I was a lot further away from finishing it than I realized. It's a lot longer than I thought it was. So I've been kind of pounding through that. I just got, I believe, the final weapon outside of whatever this version of the BFG is called. I think it's like the ballistic crossbow or something like that is what they call it in this. I have not got that yet, but I think that's it. I think I have everything else because I just got the Ravager, which is cool because the Pulverizer was utterly worthless. So it's good to actually have a version of that weapon that's actually quite good. It's actually what I was playing when you guys jumped into the green room. I was playing the next level, which is unfortunately on the dragon back because the dragon levels are still terrible. I kind of hoped they'd have done something to fix that, but they didn't. That kind of needed some redoing, but still playing through Shadows. Briefly messed with Black Flag Resynced. I think everybody reviewing it's out of their mind, but to each their own. And I did that. I don't have much to say on this, but I did restart Grand Blue Fantasy Relink since the
Nice
Endless Ragnarok DLC came out yesterday. The only thing I'll say is they did add a nice what do you call it, like prologue video or something like that, which kind of gives a very brief overview of what I assume is the story of Grand Blue Fantasy, the mobile gacha game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really I guess not really the story as much as kind of the backdrop of what all this astrals versus humans, or not humans, astrals versus whatever the non-astrals are considered. To kind of get you started on that. I looked into how to access the Endless Ragnarok content, and yeah, that's a long ways off.
Is it all like completely end game stuff?
It's 1000% end game.
Okay.
The only way to even access it is to finish what I believe is the hardest mission in the game outside of when they added Lucilius. Lucilius is the hardest fight. You have to fight. It's a much buffed version of Proto Bahamut that you fight in the very very beginning of the game.
Okay.
I guess it's the hardest fight in the game until they added Lucilius. You have to beat that, and then it gives you access to this stuff. Because it's all like level 120 plus enemies and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a lot to get there for sure. Because I assume it's probably a lot of work to even unlock that mission.
I'm sure
It's called the Rage of Bahamut, I think, is the name of the mission that you have to do. So yeah, that's about it.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
but before we pass it on,
Ooh.
I will say I know one thing that hasn't been played, and it's scrolling along the ticker down below. I'm gonna say, as I've been saying from day one, it's not gonna happen because you haven't even started it yet. So
I have no excuse other than
no, you have
fucking
zero
work.
excuse. No, that's not an excuse anymore because you've played everything else under the sun. So
And that's why
you sir
because
did did not meet your obligations. I just want to put that out there to everybody
I'm
listening.
not done yet. I'm not done yet. We'll see. We'll see.
If you played nothing but it, I don't think you would have it finished in 4 days.
No, probably not. No. And to my defense, yeah, I have no excuse. But like,
Commissioner, I see you're still there. Remember this. Remember this.
You have been busy though lately. To be fair, you don't get your normal game time throughout the day.
For years I have always been like, I do nothing at work. Blah 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 blah. I play games. I watch movies at work. And for the past almost month now, I've been putting in 11-hour days, working one day on the weekend, and it's just like when I get home, I don't want to play a bad game.
I had to.
You did.
I had to, and I did it.
You did.
Remember that?
Did. You did. You did.
You had a 3-day weekend,
excuse.
and you did not play 1 minute of it. No excuse.
This is true.
Yeah, it's true.
We'll see. See what happens this week. And even though I'm working Sunday, I've never worked a Sunday in my 8-year career here. I'm working a goddamn Sunday. So
oh wow!
I'm not impressed.
I want to be clear
7 days.
here. If I saw you were trying and simply didn't have the time, I'd work with you. I'd give you more time. You had 2 extra weeks to do it and didn't even start it. So
I get it.
Nope.
I get it.
For shame.
Shame. I need the bell ringing from
Yes.
Game of Thrones.
Shame.
Shame.
Oh, shame. Shame.
There will be repercussions. Don't worry. They're being decided, but they'll be there.
Uh-oh.
You're gonna wish you just played this damn game. I can promise you that.
We'll see. I might. I don't know. I might play it tonight for a little bit. I don't know. We'll see.
No, you won't.
So you said, oh,
let's be real. But no, you won't.
I'll play like maybe an hour, maybe tops. And then busy all day friggin' tomorrow.
You'd be like, people are on Palworld. Everyone's on Palworld. Let's go play Palworld.
Everybody's high leveling me. Like FOMO.
That's right. Exactly.
But yeah, hopefully we'll see. Nick, what have you been doing, sir? And then I think we can both kind of talk on both games that we've been playing on your front.
Okay,
so go ahead.
So first, we're gonna go with the obvious Black Flag. I've got about 5.5 hours into it so far.
Nice.
First hour just to try it out. I did it on handheld. I was pretty impressed. It was able to do 30 frames at 1080 on medium settings. So it was not bad. I was pretty impressed. Not the best way to play it because it's beautiful. So what's up, Pockets? So I've just been playing on the desktop, been enjoying the heck out of it. Before that, it was GTA San Andreas. I've been playing that on the Ally handheld. It's really fun. Forgot how much there was in that game as far as like the stats wise, like you level your stuff up and
you can get fat or buff or whatever.
Yeah, and then your gun handling and your bike handling and stuff like that. I forgot that was in there, and then like I was surprised they kind of went away from that because it seemed interesting, an interesting mechanic.
Because everything that was in San Andreas that was good, people bitched about. That's why.
Okay, people don't like to actually play the game and grind.
Right, it's like it's a world of online.
They didn't want They wanted just to go straight in, shoot, destroy everything, and not have to worry about.
Which you still could do. You just got
you just
got minor stat improvements.
Yeah, it was great. Doing like pull-ups and stuff like that. Good stuff.
Then otherwise, I've actually been rather proud of myself. I've been venturing out into other media. I watched Obsession on Friday with my wife.
Oh,
quite enjoyable. I gotta say though, man, it was really funny. Just to kind of go off on a tangent here. So we start the movie, and we're watching it for a little bit, and I'm going in my head, they're doing some interesting things, but like, did I get suckered into the hype? Is that what this is? Like, is everybody just like on a hype train and nobody really knows? And like, I'm watching it and I'm like, I'm really trying to get locked in. I'm like, it's not that great. And I look over at my wife, she's scrolling on her phone. She's just like, whatever. And then the diner scene happens, and it just was instantly like locked in. And the rest of the movie, it was like
that was
edge of your seat.
Definitely the turning point. Yeah.
That's your lock-in moment. Because up before that, I was like, I don't know if this is for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like starts there. It's like a slow build up, and then from there on, it's like like you said, edge of your seat. Like, it's not like scary. It's just like, what is going to happen? Like,
uncomfortable.
Yes.
So often. It's crazy. And then I also watched The Furious. I was really super excited about that. I got to say, for it being built up as the raid, I think as somebody who can appreciate the technical aspects of everything, it was really impressive. It was like the next evolution of the fight choreography of where things can go. And it was really cool. Some of the things they were doing, it just didn't have the same visceral impact that you experienced with the raid, I think. The set pieces, except for the very last one, when it was like the 2v2v1, that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Yeah, it was good. Then, go ahead. Sorry,
I was gonna say the very end. I was like, really? You were leading. You're doing so great, and then the very end came, and you're like, But I will say it is definitely worth watching. I think I mentioned it to you. Like, it's the evolution of the raid. The raid was very grounded. And it's like as if they went with the Jackie Chan, who's very acrobatic and crazy with where he's going and how they really use movement for the fight. Only Jackie Chan plays into the slapstick humor, the comical, and this is done but more seriously. And there's very, very few moments where you look at it and go, oh, that was done with wires. Like a lot of the other ones that they do try to go for that. So,
yeah.
Definitely worth watching.
It is definitely worth watching, and I think I did quite enjoy it. It was great, some great choreography. Story was kind of like it's there, but it was more. I think I went into it hyping myself up too much for it because I was coming off of like the raid 2, and it's like it's gonna just get better, and it was good, but I hyped it up too much for me, type of thing.
It's also kind of like one of those things where like, it's for people who watch other kung fu movies and understand the choreography. I think that was more for them than the standard. I mean, obviously standard audience loved it, but it's like the people who look at oneers, like some oneers are better than others, but others don't look as good. But if you actually know what's going on, you realize how much more difficult it is. Like, for example, the oneer I go back to, probably the best looking one is from Daredevil, right? On Netflix. That was really good, very visceral when he's breaking in to save the kid. But probably the most technically amazing one was from Adolescent, the series on Netflix. And that was like a 30-40 minute episode. And it was all entire shot all the way around the school. You had a bunch of child actors that had to hit their lines perfectly the whole way through. And that didn't look as amazing, but if you knew what was actually going on, that you could really truly appreciate it.
Yeah, that was definitely. I hear you there for sure, and I good throwback with the school there. Good shout out because that's spot on actually.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else that you've been playing, and then we'll kind of get into it.
Nothing yet, but I'm pretty excited because I got a package in today.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this guy. Yeah, I got to get started on it soon here. Add it to the pile that I got going over here.
Nice.
I bought an anime today, but it's a few weeks out. I decided since I bought all the manga, which I've read one volume so far, I just bought The Darling and the Franxx. The season, I guess you would call it. But it's a few weeks out. I can always load it on Crunchyroll and watch it, but I don't remember if we even have an active account for that or not. So I might have to wait. I've heard that the first, I think it's 24 total episodes. I heard the first, 15 are amazing, and the last, 6 suck. So I guess we'll see what happens. I like the first volume when I read it, but I think the manga, or the anime rather, actually came first. I think it was an anime originally, and then they made a manga adaptation as opposed to the other way around. So I was thinking, man, if I'm going to do it, it might be better to watch it first and then read it after the fact, since apparently the manga, they I read that they did a much better job with the ending than what they did in the anime.
Mm.
So we'll see. I'm kind of deciding what I'm gonna do there.
Usually how it goes.
Well, but because usually the anime is a adaptation of the manga,
Right.
so it's kind of weird that it went the other way around here.
Yeah,
For sure.
Let's see. It's like I said, I haven't been playing too much. What did I play? I've played Black Flag for maybe 2 hours, and I haven't really gotten that far into it. I've just been I cleared out the first initial city there.
Why don't you save that, and then we'll add that as a topic before we get into the other ones.
Okay.
So like to talk about the other stuff you've been playing.
What have I been playing? Because I haven't been playing much. Oh my god, I played some Mega Bunk because I can get into that quick. Other than that, I didn't play. I played WoW for about an hour.
That's a lot. You played way more than that. I saw you in it for like 4 total hours this week.
Being on there and being like away or sitting waiting for people to friggin' hop on or whatever. Yeah, I actually playtime like probably an hour and a half, and that was Thursday. I'm trying to think of what else I played. Battlefield 6. I've been hitting Battlefield 6 pretty hard because I can just turn that on, not think, and like forget about the day. So I've been playing that and busting out the weeklies there. Rick's played a little bit with me, and so is Nick. So that's always a fun time, and that's been actually like a really good like de-stressor from the day because I've had it. So killing things and blowing the shit out of the map is my my therapy, so to speak. So other than that, yeah, that's pretty much about it. A little bit of Palworld just today. Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe today. But yeah, not much going on. I've been catching up on Game of Thrones, House of Dragons. Man, first season really good. Second season is such a goddamn slog. I fell
off. What are they
off
on now?
Season.
Is this the third one they're on right now?
It's on season 3, and I had fell off season 2 like 3 or 4 episodes in because it was just nothing was happening. I don't mind the talking back and forth in Game of Thrones. I think it's well written and stuff, but like nothing was happening. And so I fell off of it, and then I wasn't going to go back, and then season 3 has come out, and it's been like 9s and 10s for each episode that's come out. So I'm like, all right, I'll go back. It had been so long, so I rewatched season 1. Like I said, fantastic all around. Season 2, I'm on episode 7 right now, and I cannot wait for it to be over. It is such a slog. It's rough. It's hard to watch and not like fall asleep. But
I'm going to drop a little truth bomb here. Game of Thrones was not as good as everybody thought it was, and that's not hindsight because I never even watched the last 2 episodes, last 3 episodes, whatever. I know what happens, but
yeah, you're not missing anything.
The first 3 seasons were awesome. The 4th was pretty good. The rest of the show sucked. Like everybody says, no, 7 and 8 was bad. I'm like, no, 5, 6, 7, and 8 were bad. First of all, Daenerys became the worst character in cinema history.
Yeah,
like she started as a bad character, by no fault of Emilia Clarke. It was the character. It was not her. In fact, she's obviously quite a good actress. But from around the time when Drogo, I guess spoiler from fucking 15 years ago, but when Drogo gets killed and she takes over, she's a terrible character from that point forward. She really, really is. And like for some reason, people like put their lot in with her, and it's like she's an idiot. She doesn't listen to anybody except her own stupid self.
She's a dragon. The mother of dragons.
I will tell you the minute the show got bad. When they killed the actual good antagonist, which was Tywin Lannister. When he died, the show was not good after that because there was nobody worth caring about because Cersei was much too up and down as to whether she was redeemable or not. So like she never made a good villain.
That was the best part though. There was no like true villain. Everybody kind of like had their own side that you could kind of look at and understand where they got there.
I would agree, except that it was too much. Oh, well, actually, here's another thing. The plot armor was ridiculous.
Don't even get me started.
Like absolutely ridiculous. And I have said I'm going to go into, I think it was season 6 spoilers. Even though if you watch that, when it ended, you still knew what was going to happen. The minute they put that stupid dude that kept coming back to life in that show, they killed any weight that death ever had in that universe. Because now all of a sudden it was... me and my wife went back and forth on this for a while because she did read the books, up until they stopped writing them. But
yeah, I'm still pissed about that.
You're going to be pissed forever because it's never getting written.
Yeah,
I know.
but like...
me too.
I understand it was in the book. I don't care. It did not need to be in the movie. Or the show, rather. There was no need to ever put anybody coming back to life in the show. Because
then there's the whole Lady Ironheart storyline that you didn't get.
I know.
Yeah.
But what I liked about it was that, hey, it does make it that anybody can die. Until suddenly they couldn't die anymore. And then until suddenly when they did die, they could come back to life because they were important.
Just get them a phoenix down. It's fine.
And the minute, I won't say who it is, but if you know, you know. The minute that character died, I was like, they'll be back in 3 episodes. And I think it was 2. I think it was 2 episodes they were back. And it ruined everything. It was just so stupid and unnecessary. Like, I get it, it's fantasy. I'm not saying it has to be realistic. But you could
they broke the oaths.
You could have easily...
How they broke the oaths.
I don't care. I don't care. It did not need to be there, and it took any weight of a character possibly dying completely out of the show.
I can kind of get what you're saying there.
I want to answer a question here. Castlebot asked, "Am I going to hate Dune 3?" No, because I'm not going to watch it. So
I don't think you've seen them for 1 and 2 yet.
I have not. I have zero. I don't.
They're
hate on it
so
at all.
good.
I don't hate on it at all. I just have zero interest in Dune.
Yeah.
But just the spectacle of Dennis Villeneuve or whatever the heck the dude's name is, just
Villeneuve.
Yes, but the overall, the scale, the spectacle is just the way he does his shots. Is
the
just
latest trailer.
That's awesome. I'm sure that's gonna be great for you guys.
Back to Game of Thrones, and not to carry it on. I would say should have stopped at season 6 because 7 and 8. But with Game of Thrones,
just stopped at 4. That's what I just
really
said.
Loved. I really, for me, for me it's 6, but I still love 1 through 4, especially. You are right there, especially 1 through 4.
Charles Dance's character was genuinely the best character on the show.
So good.
By far, he was the best character on the show.
Hodor. Hold the door! Hold door!
When people got teared up about that, I was like, if anything, I'm glad I don't have to see that stupid ass character again.
I teared
that
up.
Was
okay,
the stupidest
I teared
thing,
up.
And of course you did.
I thought it
that
was
the
amazing.
Stupidest thing ever.
I
hated
the coolest
that.
thing.
I thought it was so fucking dumb.
I thought it was
oh my
amazing.
gosh, it was.
It was great.
Oh, it was amazing. Yes, thank you.
I also genuinely, I'm going to put it out there, I genuinely hate time travel shit. It's not technically time travel, but it kind of is. I liked Back to the Future because it's literally the entire point. But almost anything else with time travel ruins everything.
But season 7 and season 8, it is probably the only show that I have seen after finishing season 8 where a season has completely destroyed a series where I will not watch it again. I won't watch Game of Thrones again because 7 and 8 season just took everything that was in 1 through 4, 5, and 6 right out the window, threw it in the trash, and was just so unbearably god awful. Jon Snow's only lines in the entire season 8 was "My queen, bend the knee." That was his entire fucking lines. That's it.
Another one, and I will say the most ardent fan usually will agree with me on this. The Night King was the biggest fucking nothing ever. The White Walkers in general were fucking nothing. They were this growing threat
this huge for
fucking
nothing.
7 years, and then they eradicated them in 1 episode by
the dumbest way.
By fucking stupid ass little girl stabbing him in the face. Or no, actually, I'm sorry. It was actually what's her name? It was Arya Stark, wasn't it?
It was Arya.
Okay,
yeah.
I was thinking it was. I was thinking it was
blade and stuff.
Yeah, I mean that was stupid. Don't get me wrong, but I was thinking in my head it was the dumb girl that played Ellie. It wasn't her though.
Oh Jesus, no! She died by a giant. Giant.
No, she died by the Night King, I think. But either way, that was the biggest fucking nothing ever.
It was awful. It was awful.
Okay, and I'm gonna throw out one more, and I'm gonna ask you guys because I seem to be the only person I know that feels this way. And I'm not talking books. I want to be very clear. This is only the show I'm talking about.
Yep.
I think Brienne of Tarth was one of the worst characters of all time. Everybody seems to love her, and I don't get it. I hated her. I fucking hated her.
To each their own. To each their own.
Okay, obviously I'm still alone. Obviously I'm still alone.
Cool.
I genuinely could not stand that character. Every time she was on screen, I was like, God, this fucking story just ground to a halt.
I really liked her.
But I will say, the show did introduce me to Natalie Dormer, and it does get props for that. I love me some Natalie Dormer.
Yep. I'm with you on that one. We can agree on that.
Okay. Actually, Castlebot's right. Littlefinger was actually a decent.
Littlefinger was solid.
He was.
So
right.
Is it Veneris? The spiders guy? The hell? He was like bigger guy.
Peter Dinklage. Come on, I drink and I know things.
Yeah. Except he was in it too much and it kind of ruined the character.
Who was the guy that had like his spiders everywhere? The eunuch.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Viserys?
Oh, the bald guy.
The bald guy, yeah.
Yeah, the eunuch.
I think is how.
Yeah. He was cool in it too. I thought he was.
It was all right,
but Game of Thrones, House of the Dragons, pretty solid. I will say, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, fucking phenomenal.
And what is that one now?
So that's just like it's set between
Dunk and Egg, isn't it? Essentially,
it's Duncan and Sir, what's his name? The tall, is it Henry?
Shit, I can't
remember.
And who the hell's Sir whatever the tall?
But it's based off from the short story of Dunk and Egg, wasn't it?
Yeah. But he's I don't want to give away anything.
So what? It's like an interstitial or what?
It's in between House of Dragons and Game of Thrones. It's like 20 years.
Isn't there like 1,000 years between them?
But it's I think it's much closer to Game of Thrones. I think it's like 20-30 years or something. Maybe it could be
I think
more.
So.
But gotcha. Man, that series is that's exactly what Game of Thrones needed. It's so good. I freaking love that one. That one
is it as good as like Arya and the Hound when they were together doing their little adventures.
Okay. You actually, I stand corrected. The Hound was the best character in the show.
The Hound is
I don't know why I forgot about him. He was the best character in the show.
The best line ever is when they're looking and
all the fucking chickens or whatever he says.
The chickens is really good. But then Arya's like looking at these people and she's like, "Oh, there's Needle," and he's like, "Why do people?" Or she's like, "No, lots of people name swords," and he just goes, "Lots of cunts."
Yeah.
It's so good.
I don't know why I forgot about him because he is genuinely the best character in the show.
He's really,
you know what?
He's really.
It's great to see that actor have a come up because you go from Yarp to the Hound. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he might have had some in between. I don't remember seeing it, but
yeah, the Hound was phenomenal. So good. I would have loved to seen like an offshoot of like the Hound and what's the guy from the Wildlings with the red hair.
I thought you were gonna say that.
Torment Giants Bane.
Oh god,
like
yes,
the less Torment the better. That guy was awful.
Yeah, it was so funny.
God. Oh god,
Yes.
I hated him so much.
The Tormund and like Snow together, it was great.
Like I genuinely everything that guy is in now, I hate him because of that character.
Really,
I love Tormund.
I don't think I've seen him in much. I know he's in stuff, but I don't think I've seen him.
He was in Fast and Furious 8, and I hated him in that.
I haven't seen that.
He's in a freaking Scott's Lawn commercial, and I hate it because of him. And that's all I can think of because I see that guy and I just get fury.
That's hilarious. I love Torment. My wife and I were big fans.
Me too. Yep.
I hated him so much.
Oh man. God. All right. What else? Okay, let's get back. So I was
talking
about
I didn't mean to sidetrack us.
No, it's good. No, it's fine.
That's perfect.
Yeah, no, House of Dragons. I'm excited for season 3. Jesus, season 2 is a fucking slog. But yeah, other than that's pretty much it. And then I guess we'll go into to Black Flag because I know we've all played it. I haven't played it as much as Nick. I cleared like the first Havana City, found everything. Got into a couple fights, couple story missions. It's Black Flag. I like it. Graphics are nice, runs good. I'm playing on the PS5 Pro.
Hold on. We evidently have one more question.
Oh God.
I assume it's about Game of Thrones, but
what do we got? What are your thoughts on Matt Smith? Ooh,
I don't even know who that is.
So he is Prince Daemon or King Consort Daemon. But Matt Smith plays him, and I like his character. And I think someone said it. I think I read a comment. And it's like perfect for him. He was like, he's the sexiest, unsexiest man going. Like
he looks like he got hit on both sides with a sledgehammer at the same time.
He's got that the suaveness.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He just has that swagger.
Like his swagger, he pulls it off, and when he is fighting and when he's like talking down to people and stuff, you're like, oh yeah, but then you see like some of his face and you're like, and it's like I can't, I don't know, I can't, but then you're like, oh yeah, it is really good, and then you're like, I can't really take it serious when he's not being like overbearing, and then he's great doing that, but when he's just in like scenes talking, yeah, I see him as Doctor Who, and it's just like, it doesn't he's not terrible, but it's just
Game of Thrones, because I don't recognize him from that.
Yeah, he's
House of the Dragon.
House of Dragons. He's
I haven't watched that. Okay,
he's one of the main characters, and he is good in it. It's just he's just some women, it's like a fight, and there's a fine line of like 50-50 of like half of the women think he's hot and the other half are like, you're fucking crazy type of thing. So it's just hard to take him serious, but he is very good in it. So but yeah, thanks for the question there, Castle. Black Flag, it runs great. Graphics are really good. The colors, I love the colors. I've loved them since the original with the blue waters, the jungle settings and stuff. Only done like the quick like tutorial pirate fighting in the ships, and it's okay. I need to play it more to say more on that. The fighting, I know we'll get into it more. I don't mind it. It's like Flash, but it's very simple. I don't think it's the worst thing I've played. It's nothing I'll read home about or talk about later down, and like, out of all the Assassin's Creed, Black Flag's fighting was this and that. It's very just, it's there. I don't think it's terrible. It's just easy, and there's nothing really to it, but it's not bad. So yeah, that's my take on Black Flag. I think it's pretty good. The microtransactions are a little bit crazy, but it's single player. You really can't, whatever. If you want to buy $10 outfits, you do you. It doesn't bother me. So, but what
it's the Assassin's Creed way. It's what they've always done.
Yeah. A lot of people are pissed off about it, clearly by the Steam user reviews, but there's also was like 900,000 people playing it at the same time, or 92,000 people, something like that. I mean,
it's not like, wasn't it with like Origins where they kind of capped you with your progression with XP unless you paid for something? So I mean, it's not that.
That's what people like to say, but no, it basically made it that it was. People felt it was a little too slow. I actually didn't. I thought it was fine. I thought the progression pacing was fine. A lot of people
did say that.
You could buy an accelerator.
Yeah.
Because they've done the same thing with that's the big controversy with the new EA college football.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a friend who's bitching to high hell on Twitter about it.
College football, I'm guessing, is multiplayer, so I can understand that. Whatever.
But it's not for the multiplayer mode at all.
It's for the GM mode.
It's for whatever the Dynasty mode is in it.
Yep.
I saw somebody that was giving numbers, and they're like, yeah, this is how many games it takes to get blah, blah, blah. So to get to level 99, I'm like, well, you wouldn't get to level 99 in college, you fucking moron. You would be in pro. That's kind of the point. So
it's more about your coaching progression, wasn't it? Because it's more about your...
it might have been about a coach, which would be valid, because I think college coaches make more than pro, which is ridiculous, but if I'm not mistaken, I think college coaches do typically make more. Yeah. But also, like, the point is never to get to 99. Like, that's not the idea. But that doesn't mean that it's not a problem. I'm not disputing that.
You're right. It's not to get to 99. It's to get to 100, because you got to always be the best.
There is no 100.
Oh, you're just not trying hard enough.
But I don't understand why people get so mad about microtransactions in a single player game that doesn't affect them in any way. If people want to buy a map to unlock the world, whatever, do it. I mean, it is what it is what it is. People are going to buy it as a company from a standpoint. If I put this out and someone's going to buy it, I'm going to do it because I want money. So that's what it comes down to.
When I play these games, the only way it would make me mad is so I'm looking at it and it's a skin or whatever that I would want. And when I look at it, they're always ones that have like fucking movement and fucking flowing images.
Right,
and I'm like,
right.
yeah, I don't want that anyway, so that's fine. You can keep that as a paid
Right.
thing. I'd never use it.
And it's not like you go up to a shop to go like upgrade your your ship or something, and it goes, oh wait, no, you can't. You got to buy this DLC.
You would sure think that's what happens the way people talk about it, but
yeah. I did say, I did see, because Assassin's Creed has been doing it for a while, but people can take like photos and they're on the world map that you can highlight over them and stuff. I was in Havana,
I think Valhalla was the first one to do that.
I think so, yeah.
No, it might have been
Odyssey.
Yeah,
I think it was Odyssey.
Odyssey. But someone in Havana was going around to people that were like just like on their knees, like washing or washing or whatever, and they were doing close-up photos of people's feet. So for some reason, there's like 3 or 4 feet pictures in Havana that I'm scrolling over. I'm like, what is this? Like, what?
And that is why they asked for age verification on all of your stuff.
I was like, what is this?
Did Ubisoft scrub personal data to see what interests you, and perhaps that's why they were shown? Because I can honestly say I didn't see one of those. So
I don't know, but there's like tons of hearts on it, and then people find it funny, I guess. I don't know, but I was like, but I thought originally people were taking pictures of it because stupid me jumped right to the point. I was like, oh, I immediately started counting the toes. I was like, oh, did they do AI? Is there 7 toes? That's what I ran to, and then I was like, oh no.
I will say though, I haven't said this. I'm pretty sure I know where AI was used in that game. I'm almost positive. I'll bet you, number 1, it was in the codec entries, and number 2, I'll bet you it was in the subtitles. Look at the capitalization of the subtitles. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Oh, really?
It just randomly I mean, it's always the first letter of a word.
Right.
It just randomly capitalizes. Like, if the sentence is something like, go there when they find you. Like, G will be capitalized, then T, then W. It's the weirdest thing ever. So I have a feeling that's what they did.
I wouldn't be surprised if it had like AI do the subtitling or something. Maybe, yeah.
I think
I usually do.
Wouldn't care too much about that, but
yeah. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. I'll definitely looking forward to playing it more. It's Black Flag. If you haven't played it, definitely play it. I don't think it's the best Assassin's Creed game, but I think it's a fantastic pirate game. I think that's a good way to, with Assassin's Creed skin for me. That's my take. What about your take, gentlemen?
Nick, why don't you go next? No, why don't you go next?
Oh, you want me? Okay. I love it. First, let me tell you, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, my favorite. My absolute all-time favorite. The one I put the most, I mean, it's that one and then Odyssey are my 2 favorite. Those are the ones I put the most amount of time into.
So what you're telling us is you don't really like Assassin's Creed. That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, I've been there since day 1, since launch day with
and obviously not
the
a
day
fan
of
of being
release
there.
with Assassin's Creed. I'm just saying. And I love it, man. I this is a nice glow up. I mean, the water looks absolutely beautiful. They cut a lot of the excess stuff out, like the modern day stuff. And I think that leads to some weird jumps in the story that kind of caught me off guard. Okay. Like there was a moment where you do a flashback to your wife in England, and then boom, you're right back into the ship with Adawe, and it's like you guys already know each other and already making plans to escape. And I'm like, wait, when did that happen? Like we're just jumping right into it now. And whereas before they probably would have went to, I'm guessing it's been a long time since I played the original, but it probably would have been one of those things where it went to modern day and it says, okay, now we're going to find another point in the entry to kick you back in.
I believe I believe that is correct, because I believe it, like, if you remember, so in that one you were like an Abstergo interactive employee or something like that.
Yep.
I believe that your computer like fries or whatever while you're doing it, and it kicks you out of it.
It does in every game with that modern day stuff.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying this is what specifically happened in 4. It kicked you out because you're having issues, or whatever. So they had to get maintenance to go look at yours, and this is when you encounter Rebecca and what was the guy's name? Sean in the like lobby.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive that's exactly when that happens.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So knowing that that's there, it's very without that context or like the idea of like, okay, we're jumping ahead in the story. It feels really weird, a little jarring, but overall, I mean, there's definitely more to it. Like I don't remember. I'm to a point where I get this hideout that it is very much like Assassin's Creed, was it Unity or Brotherhood, where you had the castle that you built up?
That was 2.
There was another. Was it just 2? There's a couple of them, but you
usually have a hideout that you build up, but 2 was Monteriggioni. Yeah. It was like the whole city.
Yeah. But this one, I remember there being an entire like pirate hideout.
There was.
Was there really?
Yeah. It's a mansion. Yeah. You build up a mansion and like a private island.
Okay. Maybe that is. It's been so long since I played the original. I just remember having a heck of a good time with it. I
specifically remember your treasure room. Like the more money you have, the more treasure it piles up down there.
Which is and that's how you find it. Is you come through the treasure room. Maybe I didn't think that was there. Yeah. Anyways,
it's been a minute since I played it too.
Oh, I had no interest in going back. Because it's one of those things that like that it's really great, and to go back, I don't know. Sometimes it ruins the game for you, and I'd rather look on it with fondness. And this is coming back at it. The combat's definitely way different. I don't know if we want to allow me to go into that, or we're going to save that for later.
Let me touch the combat, because I have a lot to say about the combat.
Okay.
Just briefly touch on how you like. I briefly touch. Just briefly touch on what you.
I think it's not perfect, but it's a good balance. We're not to the new series where it's a little more serious, a little bit more action, like way more serious with the blocking and the parry and stuff like that you have with the newer series, but it's also not the press block to win. It is still kind of there, but it's not as easy as it used to be. I mean, the window for your counters was like 3 minutes long, and you could just sit there all day long in combat and just counter kill. And this one does still have the counter with the kill, but you have to be a little bit closer in the timing. So I do appreciate that. It's still pretty dang easy if you play any of these games.
It's very easy. But
it's not anywhere close to what it used to be. It used to be 2-button and not even think about it. So I do appreciate that. Exploration is really fun. I keep finding myself going to different islands, especially looking for the music, because I want all the shanties I can get, and it gives me a reason to go after every single one I see. And that's probably why I'm not as far as I should be, because I go to an island and I see a shanty and I'm like, okay, I got to get it. And sometimes I don't get it on the first try because it's annoying. Like I'll be sprinting and now I'm not sprinting, and I don't realize it until, a little distance. And I'm like, wait, I'm not sprinting. I got to start sprinting again. And then I don't get it. And I got to start the whole puzzle thing over again. But yeah, I'm loving it. I can't wait to jump back in and play more of it.
Yep. I was gonna say something to add on to that, but I completely went in one ear and out the other. So I'll see if it comes back. Rick, go ahead. What do you?
All right.
What's your take, Rick?
It's probably not quite as negative as you think it is, but I think Nines is completely out of line on this. I don't think that's even remotely accurate. But so as a little bit of background, I respect that Black Flag is a good game. But it is I don't care what anybody says, it is a terrible Assassin's Creed game. It is just, it barely fits into the lore, and where it does fit into the lore, it's fucking terrible. This whole Sage storyline was the dumbest thing ever, which anybody that played 4 usually will agree. So this was at a point when I still cared about the modern storyline. We're kind of well past that now, because I don't know what the fuck's happening anymore.
Me neither.
But up through, I don't know, maybe Unity. Like I really was very much into the modern day storyline at that point. And actually, a lot of people didn't care about it at all after the Desmond arc. I kind of liked it better after the Desmond arc, because I liked I actually liked the whole first person wandering around Abstergo Studios thing. I thought that was good. I liked reading the emails and getting the Abstergo back. I thought that was awesome. So I'm
there with you.
Now I knew it was removed, but and then also to kind of change gears a little bit here, to piggyback on what you're saying, Nick, and you might know this, you might not, I'm not sure, that's why I'm going to say it. So, for those who don't know, this is not a replacement for AC4. If all you care about is the Edward Kenway stuff, then yeah, it more or less is. But in terms of the modern storyline, this takes place after Shadows. Because Shadows had this whole, like, whoever this person is, like, hacking into Abstergo's Animus thing or whatever. And this is a continuation of that. And that final update from Shadows, which was, what, about 2 months ago, give or take? It actually had, its ending actually ties into the beginning of this in some way. I haven't finished it yet, so I don't know what it is, but it does tie into it. That said, this does still have the Sage and all that, so I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work, because the Sage was specifically the whole point of the modern storyline in 4. But, so I will say, it is overall a good remake. I'm not actually arguing that at all. It does look great, there's no doubt about that. You said the water. From what I've seen, I actually would say this might be the best looking open water. Like, actually even surpassing Sea of Thieves, which is impressive, because Sea of Thieves had good open water.
When you're in the shallow water and you can look right on down, right, and you see it all clear.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Right. It's bright and colorful. This is where being in like the 1080 to 4K era, as opposed to like the 720. Well, that's not true. I guess AC4 was on PS4. But it does look brighter. It does better with HDR and all that stuff. And I will say, from what little of it I've been able to do, I will say the ship combat actually does seem improved over the original version. Like, yeah, it looks like each weapon type. There's 3 or 4 of them, whatever. Actually, I believe it actually has 2 variations now. So it's not like before, where you just had like your main cannons and then the fire cannons, and that was basically it. Like, there's other ones for like your. I think there's other ones for your, what are they called, pickle cannons or whatever on the front and stuff like that. Also, the addition of difficulty was good, because the main combat is still stupidly easy, but it does make ship combat actually a little bit more challenging, and that was pretty mind-numbingly easy in the original game as well. So that's kind of nice. You have to actually approach ship combat a little bit better. I want to address something Clint said, where you said it is a great pirate game. I don't go that far. It's a good one, but it doesn't go deep enough to be what I would actually allow or consider to be a great pirate game. I think it's a good one. I think it's an entertaining one, but like, this is where I wish it wasn't an Assassin's Creed game. I wish it was just Ubisoft's Pirates, or whatever you want to call it, right? And like, they went a little more detailed into it, because specifically the Assassin's Creed angle is where it falls apart for me, as I've tried to say numerous times. It's just, it doesn't do anything with the storyline. It does not do well with the assassin side of it, outside of having Tabai and all that stuff. And, you know, I realize maybe there's some added stuff to this that I haven't got to yet. But as somebody who cares about, even if I don't care about the modern storyline, I do still care about how everything combines together, which is part of why I liked Rogue so much, because it tied into 3
Rogue
far more
really
than this one
Rogue
did.
was really good.
And so Rogue felt like 4, except an Assassin's Creed game. So that's why I like Rogue so much better. It was a little bit more bleak in its color palette, because you were in the north in the winter, but nevertheless, but the combat, I don't hate it nearly as much as I did the first day, but I think they dropped the ball there pretty bad. It was not good in 4 or Rogue or 3. I don't want to say it's worse, because it's not, but it is far more limited. It is a massive mistake to only have you have the double swords. Like, I hate the double swords. It's cheesy, it's corny, it's stupid, and it looks dumb. I'd rather use one sword, like, you know, almost everybody that actually ever fights with a sword does. There are technically, you know, variations of it, but it's just because, oh, pirate, dual swords, it's cool. But you can't pick up...
Goro's a 2-sword man.
Zoro?
Goro. Majima?
No, he's daggers. He's not swords. Oh, well,
hey.
If you're talking about Pirate Yakuza, that doesn't even count
Yes.
as anything. Yeah, that's completely non-canonical as far as I'm concerned. Everything in Hawaii is non-canonical in Yakuza. But anyway,
Rick doesn't like tropical islands, confirmed.
That's not true, actually. I actually happen to love them.
He didn't like Final Fantasy X, and that's a tropical setting.
I mean, part of it.
The plot thickens.
I know. We will not see a coconut with an umbrella drink in his hand, you know?
Here, I'm going to ruin something for you guys, because when you see it next time now, you're going to realize you can't do this, and it's going to piss you off. Why the fuck can you not pick up rifles in this game?
I thought of that last night. I was in Havana in one of the things. Yeah.
As much as I don't like using the dual swords, I could tolerate that, because in reality that's how it was before. You could only use a single sword when you pick it up or disarm somebody, which you also can't do. You can't do the rifles at all. which is so fucking dumb. There's a character in this who in 4, their entire purpose was they taught you how to use the rifle. And they taught you how to use the bayonet on it and all that stuff. Like, there is... I understand they're using Shadow's engine, so they're somewhat limited as to what Shadow's allowed. They could have found a way to have you picking up a damn, long rifle. Like, that wouldn't be that hard. I understand...
in there that use it, so...
Sure. Again, the French Templar, I forget his name. Damn Frenchies. The guy with the big buccaneer hat.
The one
Torres's mansion.
You get him. He's the first one you take down.
Maybe I don't remember. I haven't gotten that far. I mean, I beat 4 back in the day, but I don't remember the order that goes. But yeah, like his whole thing is he's like their rifle guy. That there's no excuse for that not being a thing, or at the very least, then you should be able to have a rifle. That drives me up the wall. Like,
even if you couldn't like carry it, but when like a guy notices you, just like an interaction, so you can pick it up, shoot it, and then drop it. It's just something.
Oh right, well, that's how it was before.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of it last night. I'm like, why can't I pick this up?
Honestly, I don't really like using guns, so I didn't even.
I don't remember his name because I've seen him for 5 minutes. I do not remember his name at all. I remember a lot of the French characters throughout the series, but he is not one of them. Le Chevalier is the French guy in... He's
actually the one that you get the hideout from.
But he's also the one who... I think he's the one that gave you the Hidden Blades. I think it was him.
Yes, he is, because you make that comment of like... He says, hey, how do you like my reply to,
Right. Well, I was thinking maybe it was the English guy, but no, it was him. Yeah, he was one that gave him the box and said, here, take your pick.
Yep. They're souvenirs, as he says.
Right. It's just I turned off the big gleam when they're attacking, which has helped a little bit. One thing this game desperately needs, because even on hard it's just crazy easy. I'm glad they have difficulty settings. Like that's been a good addition over the last handful of entries. I was hoping they would have a nightmare variation of this. Remember how I said how much better I liked Shadows on Nightmare? Right. They don't have Nightmare on this. They only cap it hard, and it has the same issues that Shadow had on hard, which actually even has more because Shadows is still tough on hard, whereas this is not. But it still has every enemy standing around watching you, whereas on Shadows they were super aggressive, and that was kind of what worked. So hopefully they add that in. Hopefully they somehow find a way to add in the use of rifles. I don't think they will, but hopefully. What's that?
I would be curious to see how much they end up adding in, because I'm pretty sure that studio that made this got laid off. Had significant layoffs after this.
Some of them, but something like that you don't need level designers for. You don't need art designers. You already have the art for it. So
part of me had hoped if it sold well, we'd see the Freedom Cry DLC added in at a later date, even if they charge me for it.
I think people forget that it was a cool story, and Adewale looked awesome as a Master Assassin, but that was not good. Freedom Cry was not good. I liked his story. I liked the continuation of his story, but it unfortunately was just not a very good piece. No, what they need to do now is immediately remake Assassin's Creed 1. That is what needs to happen.
Yeah, I'm glad we got Black Flag because I love that game, but definitely should have remade Assassin's Creed.
Actually, no. Can I tell you this right now? Okay, so I sit in a voice chat last night with my buddy Hot Pockets, right, who was in the chat here, and sometimes when we're sitting there, we're BSing, we'll share screens or whatever. So I'm showing him what Assassin's Creed Black Flag is. Now, keep in mind, he's really been picking up. He's been like in Assassin's Creed mood. He's been picking them all up and playing them. And he was in the middle of playing Odyssey, and he's like, "Oh, I just bought all of them on Ubisoft, right? Because they were on a sale." He's like, what order should I play him? I'm like, start in 1 because it's like the worst one. And he loads it up, and I look over at his screen. I'm like, oh my gosh, does that look awful? It
looks rough.
Terrible.
Well, it's 20 years old. Remember that. It is 20 years. Well, I guess 19, but that's the shit. Like when I was seeing screenshots ahead of time, I won't say from where, but I was seeing some. I kept seeing. I'm like, I'm not the biggest 4 fan. I do like it. I'm obviously, I played up how much I did like it, but it's not my favorite by any means. In fact, it's one of my least favorites, but I do still enjoy the game. But I was seeing these, and I'm like, all this tells me is how much this needs to be the stepping stone to remaking 1 now, because 1 is also, outside of being number 1, the only one that is really poorly structured like it is. Unfortunately, Shadows kind of oddly went back to a variation of that, but not exactly. But it's the only one that didn't have like proper missions, if you remember. Well, it did, but they were only the actual assassination missions. There was only like 5 of them, or however many there was. But also, I mean, it was obviously quite dated. It is not playable on PlayStation hardware, modern PlayStation hardware. It is on Xbox because it's backwards compatible, but there's no way. Maybe it's streamable, but who the fuck wants to do that? It's not playable on PlayStation hardware, on modern PlayStation hardware. Like, that needs to be addressed, but I don't think a port of that would do it. I think that one does genuinely need a full-on remake. Because everything about it, I mean, the movement would be god-awful by today's standards. I can still use the old control scheme. I know some people hated that. That doesn't bother me. But every other thing about it, like every even remotely advanced parkour ability you got is not in that game. All you can really do is climb straight up a wall, and that's it.
And it's very, when you go to jump, you jump a different direction.
And right.
It is a great game, but I absolutely want it remade very badly. But at the same time, I don't want them to bring it into the future Assassin's Creed games. Like, I want it to be Assassin's Creed.
I'm sure it would. Like, and you're little. It's a side story. You're wrong. They're not side stories. They're the modern. They're still part of the main.
No,
thing.
I mean like
but
the modern.
You don't want it to be an RPG. I understand that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be. I'm sure. But
they just proved that they wouldn't do it with Black Flag. So they probably. I mean.
Right. Now that said, Black Flag does have me a little bit concerned for if they do it, because I think they would do the parkour well. I think they would do the graphics well. I think they would obviously try to make the world a little bit bigger, because you had 3 cities in that, but not much to do or anything like that in the open world. I am concerned with the combat because so far they have proven that since adding the, not necessarily the RPG element, but the way that the combat works since Origins, where they're not trying to do I forget what they called it, but like instead of being animation based for the attacking, it's actual like hitbox based.
Right.
They have proven they have not been able to get that combat right in terms of a non-RPG style. Because they haven't got it right here. This is probably the closest, but I still would say they didn't get it right. They sure as hell didn't get it right in Mirage.
Do you remember how basic combat was before, though?
Yes, I understand that. But do you want... So,
I would take this over what we had before.
I don't think
originally.
I would, actually. I don't think I would. Because, okay, I guess it depends how you're looking at it. If you had nothing but his sword, I would not take that. I would not take this over that, because he did have his dagger. He did have throwing knives.
I meant
kind of stuff.
More along the lines of how the combat encounters function themselves, as far as like.
I get that. But what they need to do is they need to find a way to properly take what they have and mesh it with what they had, because they haven't done that right yet, and they need to make it like. Even because when you go back to the old style of ACs, like even the ones before 3, right? The 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, 1, 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations combat styles. What was the biggest criticism of the combat in all those, aside from being easy? The enemies all stand around and they attack one at a time.
Yeah, it was one at a time. Yep.
They addressed that in 3, but they addressed it by making the combat play like a very basic version of the Arkham combat system, which did not work at all for this. And they need to go back to that style, but modernize it better. And I think they'll have something. But they need to give you the option to make it that you have to have good timing. Like, you can't just stand there with your block button up and then just press attack or whatever, whatever it was to do the parry. But they need to have more of the advanced parkour, which that's another criticism I've always had of Black Flag. And it's not an issue with the game per se. It's an issue with the setting. Is you don't have buildings that are more than 2 levels almost ever. You might have a church, but that's it, right?
Yeah.
Like the buildings are all 2 levels, because why would you build a tall building in Hurricane? Right?
Yeah.
It'd be stupid. So it's like, it doesn't fit for the Assassin's Creed setting. It just simply does not. You go to that, now obviously we're talking the ancient world, so they're still not that big, but they would be a lot bigger than they are here, so you could use the better modern parkour, because it actually worked pretty well in Mirage. That was one of the few areas that game actually did do things well. So I look at that and I'm just like, I can see what I want. I just don't know if they can make it. But I want them to remake that game. I want it to have the modern parkour, the modern graphics, physics. Fucking recast Altair, please, because we don't need a guy that sounds like he's from Massachusetts playing a Syrian. But that, if they did that right, I'm gonna call it now, that would immediately jump to be one of people's favorite games if they did it right, because that original setting was brilliant.
It was so
good.
And
if you remember back in what year did 2 come out? Was it 09? I think it was 2 years after the first game, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds about right, because it was 7 for the first one.
Right.
Yeah, 09. Yeah.
If you remember, when they first announced they went to a different setting, people were actually really disappointed because everybody liked the Crusades as a setting. But then Ezio ended up being awesome, and Florence and Venice ended up being great, so people immediately forgot about it, and they made 3 Ezio games. If they could get an awesome Altair back and give us a good Damascus and Jerusalem and Acre, I think is the other city, and like a nice big open world this time with things to do, and totally restructure the story so that it actually follows, proper missions as opposed to this like open structure they had, that will end up being one of people's favorite games in the series. I genuinely believe that.
I feel like there's still a lot of love for 1, because in almost every single Assassin's Creed game, one of the outfits that you have an option for is Altair.
Right. Well, it's first of all, it's because it's the most recognizable one is Ezio's, but Altair's is the iconic one. It is the one that started the series. It's also the most basic one, but it works because basic works in that case. However, the funny part of it is, of them all, Altair's outfit, because of the setting, is by far the one that would be most like blending in. Like, even Ezio's really would not work that well in that setting. But Altair's, like, genuinely, he just looks like a guy walking around, because a lot of them wore robes and stuff like that back then. So it's like, and no, I'm not criticizing them changing, because I love 2, and Brotherhood's still my favorite in the series. But I want to see 1 get the love that it deserves, because it really does deserve it. Like, that game started one of the biggest game series. Yeah,
it's iconic.
And Altair himself unfortunately sucked because of the way he was written, but his design was as fucking cool as they come. And I won't really say what it is, but it had a cool plot twist. And actually, at that time, I loved the modern day storyline of Assassin's Creed. The first one I loved, the second one I hated. Brotherhood brought it back to where I liked it again, and Revelations I liked. But like, I loved, because I just like the whole, this is how all this shit happened, and it being these crazy artifacts. It kind of went really off the rails after that, but sorry, I kind of went on a tangent there, but that's all I.
No, we're good.
No, it's good, man. Good.
No, I like it. I like it.
Bring the passion.
That's right. But let's move on to Sony here. Now, before we get into this little aspect of it, I was raging earlier, and I was very fucking pissed off at Sony, but I've calmed down a little bit, because it
that's good. One of us has.
It got blown out of proportion. So Sony PlayStation was doing a Twitch stream in, I'm still mad about it, but I get it. But, and they were doing a Twitch stream. I'm not sure of what, but everybody in the chat was like, bring back physical, no disc, no buy, blah, blah, blah. Just constantly hounding, like, we want physical. And they were getting muted or like banned. And come to find out,
it's spamming, but
that's it. It technically, they were spamming. People were saying it 20 times in a row. So it like the auto ban just kicks in when you're spamming.
Right.
So, but when I first heard about it, I thought it was just like people were just like saying it, and then they were like getting banned, and I was getting pissed. It's bad enough that you're taking physical stuff away. If it's a business standpoint, I get it. Fuck whatever. But like when people are talking about it and expressing themselves about it, I was like, no, that draws the line. But it does seem like it was because of spam and stuff. So I was gonna go on a complete AWOL tangent of really not being happy, but I can kind of understand it now.
Well, one thing I wanted to before we go too far into it. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Silken said, I can't wait to see all the people canceling their PS Plus, no disc, no buy. Well, despite what I said last week, I did it this week. Now, when you cancel it, it's not like when you cancel Xbox, I believe it cancels you immediately, no matter how far you are into it, just refunds you the difference.
You can, or you can just have it not auto renew.
Gotcha. Okay. On PlayStation, of course, they don't let you do that. They basically, you're canceling your auto renew, but you're not canceling your active membership. So mine is still active until February, but I did actually finally choose to speak with my wallet, and I did cancel my. It's gonna suck because I do need those cloud saves, but I canceled it.
I think I'm going to as well. Because I was thinking about, I don't really use it anyways.
It is the most immediate way to say something.
Yeah, and I don't really use it anyways, other than, like you said, the cloud saves, which is whatever.
That's how Nintendo Online had me held hostage for so long, even though I never really used it. It's just my cloud saves out there.
But I did like how I can never pronounce it. Is it Laffy? Lafay. I did like how Santa Monica was like, yes, this will be released on physical.
Even their own studios are calling them out for it.
Right. They added that. So basically, we got a release date saying it's before 2028, which we all pretty much kind of knew or was expecting. But like Rick said, even your own studios are calling you out.
On that note, I agree. I mean, we've said from day one it's almost 2027. But I do wonder if this necessarily proves that. Paul posited a question over in Alex's Discord. I'm like, that's actually a very good question. I don't know the answer to that. If something is scheduled to come out in 2027, let's say it's coming out in December or whatever, and it was having a physical version, but that version gets delayed, what happens?
I think that still comes out, because didn't they word it like all planned?
They worded it that if you released that one before they were stopped, you could still order replenishment of it. So in other words, it's not like if you release it in December, it's not like you have a 1 month run of physical and that's it.
Right.
You can still order replenishment; that'll still be made. But if it hasn't come out yet, I'm assuming it means it can't have a physical version, but I don't know.
Man, could you imagine with all the pre-orders they'd have out there for the physical?
The only thing that they could do
is exactly it. Like, I don't know.
They could do it with Lafay, and they have all they could make them, and it gets delayed, and then they're just like,
you're 10 years old, brother. You're 10 years behind.
here's your physical, but if we had to print all of these before we stopped in 2028, so now you have a 120 gig update first thing type of thing.
Well, here, to address that, I will read you the exact wording that they use. Hold on, let me find the blog post. We can try to decide based on that, because I actually don't think I agree with what you're saying there. An update on... Oh, sorry, that's this one. Okay. Physical disc production ending in January 28th for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. Let me find exactly what it says here. As consumer preferences and blah, 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 blah. Physical game disc production for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting January 2028. Following this date, new games will be available on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. This transition has no impact on games that already released or will be releasing prior to January 2028 in disc format. So if you release it on December 29th in physical, you can keep releasing physical. But if you release it January 2nd, or whatever day they pick in January, let's say February 2nd, my assumption is you cannot release it physically after that. Well, maybe you can, but you have to fork over the production bill.
Let's look into, not necessarily Sony or whatever, but do you think, because of, like you said, come December 29th, that's the cutoff point, like you are done. What if, do you think we see, crunching, of course, but like games being released way before than they should be, before they wanted them out, and it's in a broken state because they're like, we can't get it out physical, so this is what you got, and we're sorry, here comes a couple day one patches or whatever. Do you think we see a push of games that come out?
I can certainly see that happening. I mean, I'm not saying it'll happen with everything.
No.
Also, not everybody's going to try to release in December, but I get what you're saying. Like maybe something they were planning to release in February. Well, also that being said, they do have like a year and a half to plan for it at this point. But like it's not like it's happening in 2 months. But I agree with you. Maybe they're running behind the thing. They're like, well, we can't delay it, or else we can't release it physically, and we have X number of physical pre-orders.
Right. And
so I absolutely could see that being a problem. Yeah. I didn't even think about that angle, but you're definitely right.
I just thought of it just this second as you were thinking. It's like, what if a game was
I could see that being done.
Even October, and they're like, shit, something happened, and now we have to kind of redo this character from scratch or whatever, and then it gets pushed to February. But you are, like Rick said, you already have physical pre-orders, so now you're going to get that physical disc, but it's going to be like, hey, sorry,
maybe it's why the one character in Lafay is a gelatinous cube. Maybe they were supposed to be a character.
Do you know though? Could you imagine though, like how many studios would actually try that though? To be like, oh no, it's broken because we're trying to get it out ahead of time, so it still has out on disc.
Yeah.
It just goes to prove how this whole thing is a bad fucking
blame
idea.
Blame Sony.
That's right.
But to be on the actual news part of this is that Sony still has not addressed the backlash of it, and
it won't though.
Way bigger backlash than I ever thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be some pissed off people, but it's like it seems like everybody is on the consensus of like, even if I'm digital, I understand why it's there and we need it. I said it last week. I think it was last week we were talking about it. You could be someone who buys 100% digital, rather. That's fine. Right.
You have to be against this choice. You have to. If you are not against this choice, you genuinely are a fucking brain dead troglodyte. I don't know what else to tell you, because it doesn't do you any favors either.
Yep. And
I think if before this goes away, physical, we need to have digital rights protections in place, which definitely. I saw today. Hey, China, say what you will about them. They have multiple rulings that you can will your digital games down. There was also a in-game MMO item. The guy passed away, and the in-game wife was trying to steal the item to sell it off for real money, but the wife actually won it because it's actually, they consider that even though it's digital property, it has real monetary value, so it's true property. And but you have rights to it.
Also, China is kind of the poster child for a lack of following copyright protocol too. So
I'm not saying China's a good look, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
At least there's something there.
Yeah. Yes.
I want to read something. I showed this to you guys the other day, but I had, even though I was still mad about it, I had cooled down a little bit. This fucking had me seeing red. I think it was Wednesday. So I guess Jason Schreier had a stream recently about, I don't know if it was just about this or whatever, but he addressed this.
Gonna get a drink.
Yep. So this post, credit to Noxious PlayStation. I think it was in Spanish, but Twitter just translated it. The guy kind of like summed up some things of what Jason Schreier said. And one of these makes me so angry. I want to just never use PlayStation again. That won't happen because I have too much invested in it, but it's what I want to do. So it says, Jason Schreier shared new information about the future of physical format on PlayStation. Sony considers that its digital player base is already large enough to do without those who continue to buying games in physical format. So fuck me, I guess. The company will not change its retail distribution model. Stores will continue selling boxes, but these will only include a download code. We knew that was in that blog post. Currently, when Sony sells a first-party physical game to a retailer, the latter gets around 30% of the sale price, so $70, of a $70 game rather. With the 100% digital format, Sony would keep all of those revenues, which we knew. But I do believe there is some kind of, there has to be some kind of cut, or else why would they have it at all?
Right.
As a result, the company expects to significantly increase its profit margins, which obviously, why else would you make that decision? Additional information from other reports. Sony would be convinced that over time, most players will end up accepting the transition to a 100% digital ecosystem. That's obviously what they're banking on, but the company believes that users will continue supporting PlayStation even without the option to buy physical games. Don't think, monkey, just buy our product.
Yep.
Hold on, there's one more here. Additionally, this is the one that really fucking pisses me off. Additionally, they consider that it is not necessary to maintain direct communication with fans about this decision, as they trust in the strength of the brand and the loyalty of their community.
It's always worked for them.
Basically saying, we know everyone's pissed, It doesn't matter because we're
Oh,
PlayStation.
well.
Because we're PlayStation.
And that's why, like, I know everybody is like, oh, Xbox shit with this and that and this and that. It's like, maybe they are. Maybe Nintendo shit with stuff but you need them to succeed so this shit doesn't happen. Like, you need monopoly. You need, or you need competitiveness.
You don't need monopoly. Yeah.
That's right. You don't need monopoly. You need the competitiveness. So, like, of course Sony's going to do this because where can you go? What can you do? Like it is what it is, and you're gonna eat it from the platter, the paper plate we give it to you, and you're gonna like it, and that's
I mean, I will say so. Going back to the early days of the Xbox One, I think it was the Xbox One. It might have been the 360, but I think it was the Xbox One. I remember seeing somebody say something that I was like, I actually think I agree with that, which was that PlayStation fanboys can be pretty diehard, but for the most part, they do tend to step up when they don't like something that Sony's doing. And remember, this was not recently, this was a little while back.
Right.
Whereas Xbox fans, for whatever reason, were so diehard they refused to give any kind of criticism to Xbox. And I think, at the time, that was accurate, which is why we got, either the Xbox One or the Xbox One continued as it was, whereas PlayStation 8 Series Crow on PS3 and had to really change course and end up making a good system when all was said and done, but it was garbage at first, right? But we got the PS4, which you could make a pretty serious argument being the best console of all time. Between that and PS2, almost undisputedly the best console of all time, right? However, we got that again, except this time, for some reason, Xbox continued being stupid. So now PlayStation, even though they were arrogant assholes and made a bad product, they didn't have anybody eating their lunch, so they just kept being arrogant assholes.
Yeah. And
I will say, again, from what I have seen, the fans are giving it to Sony. I mean, that's what we were talking about, that they haven't addressed it. And I don't believe, this is, I'm not saying it's representative of the entire consumer base, right? But we're well beyond what I would consider to be the vocal minority on this. Like, we are in the 50,000 replies to a YouTube comment, not a Twitch stream, a YouTube comment.
Right. It's just like,
and they're all bitching about the physical. Could some of those be the same person? Sure, but the reality is we're talking large numbers here. We're not talking 1,000 people just repeating themselves over and over again. Yeah. And for some reason, it doesn't seem like Sony cares whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I do not expect them to. Clearly, the PlayStation 6 is being designed and built around digital. Even if that's coming out in 2 years, 3 years, they're not going to scrap it and be like, oh, here we go. Now we're redoing this. It's going to be digital. Sony isn't going to back off on this. I just want them to say, hey, something nice of just like, we're sorry, but this is how it's going to be. And I know we know you don't like this, but it is what it is. It just
being an ostrich about it is not the answer.
Yeah, just say it and be done with it. But like you said, nothing is being said, and it's like you have to say something, even if it's not what we want to hear. Just say something. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, PlayStation accounts are on fire. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, what you mentioned about I think that was a French stream of something, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? It was PlayStation. Yeah, okay. The French again.
Damn, Frenchies. the fact that was even that like happening that much shows you there's a problem that you got to address. Yeah, this is well beyond the ability to ignore something. Like, there have been things that people bitched about that nobody really cared, right? It was the vocal minority, and they were able to just bury their head and weather that one. I don't think that's going to work on this one. They're going to have, like you said, they're not going to go back on it. I get that, but they need to address it somehow. You cannot just act like it's not happening, because right now, it'll be very interesting. Let's say things stay as they are. It'll be very interesting to see what PS6 looks like. I'm sure initial allotments will sell out. I have no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
I would be willing to bet, if the price is high, like I'm sure it's going to be, and this is the case, and people do speak with their wallet, Sony might see a little bit of difficulties moving systems rather when it comes out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They would have to have a hell of a first party lineup, I think, at this point to even.
But even if they do, it's going to be on PS5. It's going to be on PS5 too. But maybe there'll be one game that's exclusive to the 6. But
that's true.
Almost all of it's going to be on PS5 anyway. So
right.
In the end, it would just be nice if the Destiny fan base had reacted this way, because maybe we would have gotten Destiny 3.
Or if
what do you say, Nick?
Existed.
I'm literally out here like, commenting on every live stream something and getting banned for posting something. This sounds very, very familiar. Where have I heard this before? I don't know. Definitely isn't Save Destiny 3. All I'm saying.
God. But yeah, I just want that. Like everybody has said, and we just want them to acknowledge, like, hey, sorry, we know you're we fucked up, and we're sorry. At this point, we can't go back. This is what it is. Sorry, and not just be like Rick has said, an ostrich with a head in the sand, saying, "Oh well, deal with it." Silken, imagine if you were a French Destiny fan. Double whammy this stream. Jesus, man. Oh God,
man. The French are taking it this episode. Damn.
Right.
Any other comments on that, gentlemen, before we go on to our
I just want to emphasize, fuck Sony, fuck PlayStation.
Yeah,
fuck you, Herman Holst. Yeah. Fuck you, Hideyuki Nishina, I think is his first name. You guys can get fucked. You guys have genuinely taken any fun that ever existed out of PlayStation.
It's rough. It is a very middle finger fuck you, not for the players. Is
it's for the payers.
Yeah, exactly. Even as we go into the Xbox
for genuinely
news,
the first time, that is a valid, Xbox fanboys were saying that when it really wasn't. That is valid right now. That is very much, and I like how everything has. Their thing is play has no limits. Everybody's making it play has limits. That's a big thing you're seeing pop up.
So good.
Keep it going, guys. Speak with your wallet.
I love it.
And genuinely, this is the only way they're going to get the message. Is because
Nintendo and even Xbox with news that we're talking about. Yeah, it sucks, and everything that's happening sucks, but at least they're not literally giving the middle finger to their customers and being like, fucking deal with it. And on that note, let's go into the Xbox major news this week, which we knew was coming. I'll read some quick Cliff Notes type of thing here.
I wish our man Clutch was here, because he could have gone through an hour and 20 minutes of us not even talking about Microsoft.
I know. I did want to bring up, I meant to bring Clutch up at the beginning as well, but he pops in here.
I don't know if we should say that.
Okay. All right.
He said it in the Discord. I don't know if we should air that on YouTube.
All right. That works. Yeah, that's good. But anyways, yes. So Xbox reset, basically. CEO Asha Shammer's major restructuring. Just a quick and easy thing here. 3,200 jobs cut overall, 1,600 immediately, and then 1,600 over the next year. Cuts affects every studio and role within Xbox, as the company calls itself not healthy due to lower margins, slower growth, and hardware crisis. The big studios and content changes. Compulsion Games and Double Fine Productions spin out as independent studios, keeping their IPs, which is good. Ninja Theory and Undead Labs have secured new ownership with funding to finish the Hellblade and Senua. Senua, thank you.
I knew that sounded weird when I said
it. State of Decay 3 will come out, and possibly maybe not on Game Pass if they don't want it. I don't know how true that is, but that's been kind of thrown around.
It'd be up to whoever the new publisher is.
Right. Arcane is in for a strategic review at the moment, including the Blade game.
Because of the rules over there, with the way it is over there with the laws, they can't just shut them down.
Right. The French again. But the operation thing, and this was kind of like a big one for me, that 14 layers of management being knocked down to 5
It shows you how fucked up Xbox really
how
was.
fluffy that was. It's just ridiculous. You don't need that much. It's a huge company. Yes, you don't need 14 layers of management.
That's 14 layers in Xbox, not in Microsoft,
right,
in Xbox.
Right. And I think Nick had mentioned it in either Discord or text. He's like, imagine the phone game on that. Yeah, just like nobody's getting the information correctly.
And then just think, if somehow it does make its way through all the proper channels, it ends up at Matt Booty. Just remember that.
Yeah. And then, 14 layers of management, basically saying the reset hardware components costs have doubled in recent months, 5 times the price for 5 times the price. Game Pass and multi-platform release have grown, but not expected as much, weakening the core business. And the probably the biggest take out of everything that was there for me is that for every dollar they spent, they like ate 64 cents of it, which is
64% of every dollar they spent, they lost,
which is just wild. So
did you see that they were the other thing that came out of the report that like for the longest time they were using Minecraft profits to pay for everything?
Yes.
Yeah, I did see that.
Which actually, that I don't criticize that much, because that's why
fine.
you
If
have
something's
something
making
like
a
that.
ton of money,
right.
Sure. And it just came across as well while we're on this, layoffs. Another ID software got hit, but they also got hit just again like an hour ago in Frankfurt. 6 of the 12 workers were let go on the ID tech engine.
Yeah.
So there's only 6.
Why you say ID? It's id.
6 out of the 12.
Well, boy, that does refute what was said earlier, then, doesn't it? Which is
that seemed like that came out under duress, honestly. Like, so like the joke was the gun to the back of the head. Right. Say you're fine. Tell everybody you're doing just fine.
We're back to Doom. ID had put out a thing saying that we're fine. We're back to Doom 2016 numbers from where we're made. Okay, but like, you've made really good games since then, so why isn't your studio grown? You can say you went back down to that, but that's not a good thing.
Check curiosity. I'm not disputing it. Where do you see that? I actually don't see that on IGN.
That one just came across at Aftermath site Xbox. It's an official. It's from Aftermath. But it was posted by Wario64, so he's pretty credible.
Yeah, he doesn't usually just post garbage. He usually posts accurate stuff.
So, but that Frankfurt, so another six people there, but that could be part of their like, okay, you weren't laid off immediately, but here's the starting of the 1,600 more.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I was getting at, Silken. That is what specifically I was saying to refute
which
what
is
was said
awful.
earlier.
Awful.
Honestly, of every stupid thing that Phil Spencer did, the fact that nobody but id and Machine Games used id Tech is the most confounding fucking thing ever. You own an engine. Your people are in house. Yep. I understand why Gears would continue to use Unreal. Right. Everybody else, I mean, if your game was almost done, it's one thing, but everybody else that was starting something new, it should have been using id Tech. Because why the fuck wouldn't you? It's your engine. It's a good engine. It's in-house. You don't have to reach out for support. You had the people right there. Yep. Why'd you even
have
buy
to pay
Bethesda?
To use it. You don't have to pay to use it. The licensing, anything. So obviously bad, and it has affected people. And 1,600 people, it's awful. 1,600 more to come. Who knows? Maybe even more. In the end, though, as much as I hate to say it, I thought this was going to be a lot worse. I thought there was going to be complete closures. We didn't see complete closures yet. We'll see how those brands that get bought or move out independently, how they do. But I thought for sure we would see a lot more closures. The amount of employees, I honestly didn't think it was going to be that much. I thought it was just going to be closures and that was it. But it definitely, obviously bad. But I think it needed to be done. Obviously, with 14 layers of management, losing 64% of every dollar spent. Clearly, something was wrong. Clearly,
I mean,
so yes,
all three of us,
the ship needs to be righted.
All three of us, in various different ways, have said about how Xbox's previous what do you call it, like, plan was clearly failing massively, and we had certain people that like to dispute that with us. Is there any arguing it at this point?
Yeah,
you cannot. They were losing more than 50% of what they spent. They were losing.
Any business, any other business, if that was any other business besides Microsoft, they'd be under.
Microsoft or Apple are the only ones that could survive that. They're the only
business.
ones. Yeah.
Yep. even Sony couldn't last.
Absolutely. Sony be out of business by now. Yeah.
Yep. So if they didn't have, and I see where they were talking about, like, hey, we might move Xbox to be its own thing. I can see why they're saying that now, because Microsoft is like, yeah, this needs to be not on our books anymore, because Jesus.
Well, and Nick, you and I had kind of gone back and forth, like, discussing the idea of, I suggested it and asked what you thought of like separating ABK off as its own entity. Well, this clearly is why they couldn't do that, because ABK was probably ABK and Minecraft were the only things bringing in any kind of money.
Yep.
Clearly.
Right. Yep.
So they needed that to help cook the books, almost, to make, well, not cook the books because that make it illegal, but to make the books look better than they actually were, basically.
Right.
Yep.
It's really shitty, but it is something that like I said, it is shitty, but I think Asha is doing what needs to be done in the best way possible.
Sure.
Like, they could have let those other developers go, or just completely shut them down, but they let them go and also keep their IPs, which I thought was, if it's going to happen, that's probably the best way it could happen. So props to that, I guess. But obviously, fluff needs to get cut, and the ship needs to be righted. But
the big question of it is, like, how did Phil and Sarah convince anybody to let it get this bad? I don't know. Like, how did somebody not say, well, let's try this. Let's start small. Try this with this studio, and we'll see what happens there. And if it works, if we see slight increase or whatever, okay. They got it to the point that Xbox was basically just shitting out Microsoft money. I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, they hit so well off from Minecraft. I mean, look what it paid for everything, right?
I guess.
So then they were trying to find the next Minecraft, and the other ones didn't pan out, and they were feeding the Game Pass machine that if it would have actually got subscribers, it would have paid off. But they stalled out at 30 million. And if you're not growing new users, you're not bringing more money in, and most of the users you have are still on it for $1.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yep. Those people aren't offering it yet. And then, so then what they do, they went out for ABK because that was looking for another Minecraft, essentially. Yep. And that took longer than they were expecting to come in.
Yeah, or is Starfield? Maybe they thought Starfield was going to be the next Skyrim.
Right.
And obviously it wasn't. It's still good, but it's not Skyrim numbers. You're not going to see Starfield ported to every Alexa and everything like Skyrim was. It'll sell, of course, but not like Skyrim. And I think that's what they were hoping for.
Yep.
And obviously that didn't happen. It's a good game, but just not.
I mean, again, I love Starfield. I've said this numerous times. I'll always be a defender of that game.
Yeah, it's great.
But there's no doubt that if you look at the reception, and especially not so much the critic reception, but specifically the consumer reception to it, it was nowhere near what they needed that to be. They needed that to be their Last of Us moment. Like, not. Oh,
for sure.
You know what I mean? Like not to compare it to Last of Us, but they needed it to be the one that it's like, that is what you attribute to Xbox. That's why you buy an Xbox, so you can play Starfield. And it didn't even come remotely close to that. So it kind of, even though, I mean, it has its fans. I'm not saying it doesn't. Obviously, being one of them. But it didn't have the attraction for the outside that it needed to have, right?
Yeah. And clearly the way, and like Nick was saying, I think they started saying like, oh, we can bring in more money if we, start putting these games on PlayStation and stuff. And they're showing the head honchos, the 15 layers of management, like, oh, look how good our sales are over on PlayStation. So it's fine. It's good. But obviously still bleeding money. So,
and then, I mean, obviously a major part of the reason why there's numerous reasons, but a major part of the reason why they nuked the idea of releasing things on PlayStation is just the same reason PlayStation nuked the idea of taking them on a PC, the diminishing returns. Forza Horizon 6 is the only one of the last... what did Xbox have? Like maybe 10 or 15 games that they released? Like, it started okay. Like, Grounded did well. I think Sea of Thieves did pretty well.
Yeah.
But Gears of War did horrible, but it's Gears of War 1. I don't know if you can really judge it based on that.
Right.
And as Clutch even told us, it was a really piss poor port to begin with. But like they weren't getting the returns on it. So it's like, well, if this is what you were banking on, this for people that weren't in Game Pass, and then Game Pass, as you said, stagnating at 30 million when I believe the word
they
was
were expecting 90 million is what they were hoping to have.
They had to get to 100 to be profitable, which is crazy. If you ever need 100 million subscribers for something to be profitable, that thing ain't working, because that's insane.
No.
I don't think Netflix is anywhere near that, and Netflix is pretty dominant in terms of the movie subscription thing. So it's like that is not a recipe for success. No. And then when the things aren't selling, when they're releasing on PlayStation, outside of the odd one like Forza Horizon 6, you're where do you make that money back up? There's nowhere to do it.
No. Nope.
I do have to say though, like with all of this, I've got to say, like I was having a conversation the other day, right? And everybody, the first news that came out was everybody was expecting a complete and total bloodbath.
Mm-hmm.
And they come out and they're like, hey, these studios are safe. We're spinning them out. They get to keep their IP. Everyone's like, yay, yay, yay. We're slowly getting more and more pieces coming out now that it's not great still what's happening back there. And I'm really, when we see the full picture of the fallout, when people get over the studios that they spun out, what the whole picture is actually going to look like.
Yeah.
For those 1,600 that are gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it just ESO fans and stuff and ZeniMax just so far from what I've seen have been hit insanely hard. And, fans are wondering about that game.
It's actually crazy. It's crazy that Bethesda took the hits they did, because they are, for the most part, releasing stuff.
Right? Okay.
If anything,
I got some numbers for you here.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Last year, right? We're going to go look at last year's releases.
Yep.
Do you want to know what the top 4 most played games were?
Is it just Xbox, or
Xbox first party? Yep.
I'm saying, is it only on Xbox, or is it everywhere that it was released?
What they put out there when they announced their milestone numbers. Okay.
So one of the Call of Duties obviously is number 1. Whichever one it is, I don't actually, might even be both.
Yes, Call of Duty. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll guess we're talking calendar 2025, correct?
Yes, 2025. What do you think was number 2?
I'm trying to think what came out last year.
It's gonna be an older one.
Avowed, even though
Avowed was number 2 at 6 million.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, what was the numbers of Call of Duty? What'd you say?
I didn't pull the numbers from Call of Duty. You don't have to, because we already know that was just insane. It's Call of Duty.
Also, to be clear, when we're talking numbers, are we talking active users?
People played, like people who jumped in and played what they put out there. So like even if you
they could have played it for 2 minutes and then it still counted. Okay, that's
right. And then I put the other number 3 I put on there. It's not technically 2025, but it was close enough that I kind of put it in there with it. And that was Indiana Jones.
Yeah, indeed.
4 million.
You did have the PlayStation version on last year, so that technically was still last year.
The next one after that, Grounded 2.
That's right, Forza Horizon didn't come out last year. I'm sorry. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Grounded 2 with 3 million. And Doom the Dark Ages was tied with that for 3 million. Now, granted, that's just when that last amount that they put out there said, hey, congratulations, we've had X amount of people played.
Right.
So, because obviously it gets kind of caught up in there, and that's within the first month of them being out. Essentially, the Indiana Jones was a little bit later. I want to say it was like in the beginning of January when they posted that. But
I did know that the Dark Ages did not quite do the numbers they were hoping for. And actually, I will say,
Avowed was the number 2 was insane.
That's crazy.
Well, especially considering it kind of came out at a fairly busy time too. If you
but
remember.
how many people, if it just counted players, how many people just downloaded it on Game Pass and played it for 10 minutes?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But you could say something about South of Midnight. That only pulled 1 million.
Because nobody cared about South of Midnight.
I'm surprised that even.
Senua 2 didn't even report for any of theirs when they came out. Kiln never reported. Keeper never reported. Outer Worlds 2 was 1 million.
Hellblade 2 didn't come out last year. It came out the year before.
No, you're right, but I'm just saying.
In general,
that was at a period. Gears Reloaded was 1 million when they stopped saying anything about it.
That one didn't do so well, but on Xbox also everybody had played it already, so it's tough to pull the numbers on that one and get proper.
And I'm not trying.
And how many of them are people like me that some of these games I pop up and let it run for 15 minutes to get my rewards points, and I close it out.
Yeah, sure.
Right. And
so
I'm really not.
That is the issue with using that. I don't mean you. I mean Microsoft using that as a measuring stick, because it's like that doesn't mean anything.
What Silken says right here: 3 players on Kiln right now on Steam right now. All-time peak 193.
If they put $1,000 into Kiln, they've put too much money into it.
It's awful to say, and the ones that they got rid of: Compulsion Games, Double Fine, Ninja Theory, Undead Labs. All 4 of those, I'm looking very forward to State of Decay 3. All 4 of those developers have done nothing for Xbox.
Not to mention Undead Labs had all those sexual harassment lawsuits and stuff.
Yeah. They have done nothing.
It's Undead Labs outside of what you just said, Nick. Obviously, the killer there is they've had forever to make State of Decay 3. And I think it's going to be good.
I think so too, but it's been so long.
Eventually you got to shit or get off the pot here. And there's no doubt that was bleeding money. I mean, I love Double Fine. There's no excuse for their output. There's none.
No.
The only good thing they released since they were bought by Microsoft was, well, I know people like Keeper, but it didn't pull numbers. But Psychonauts, and Psychonauts was developed 90% when they were independent. I'm not disputing that Microsoft's money. They even said themselves helped them get like better boss fights and stuff like that. But that game was primarily developed when they were independent, and then they got polished like that done when they really did drop the ball too. And instead of developing, I keep saying they should really have made a remake of the original Psychonauts to bring it up to standards. They made fucking Keeper and Kiln, which nobody wanted. And it's like, honestly, not to keep harping on the guy, but this kind of goes to show you how poor Phil Spencer's eye for like talent is. It honestly was terrible.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Double Fine's a good team, and I'm not arguing that at all.
Right.
But of the primary studios that he bought, not when he bought a publisher and got a lump of them, the only one that has done jack shit for them was what's it called, Playground,
which is the top. I just pointed out that Mecha Chameleon, right? 8 million copies sold, top 5 list of Steam revenue this year. Number 1, Forza Horizon 6.
Yeah, well, I mean,
2 was Requiem, but I mean, like, Forza Horizon is just killing it. Forza Horizon 5 when it came out on PlayStation, banana numbers. 6 when that came out. I mean, Steam is going crazy.
6
it's
still
free.
isn't on PlayStation. Remember that it's still not on
6
PlayStation.
is coming out later this year, I think.
Yeah,
right?
They have not announced the date yet, but they did say it was this year.
And that's going to be huge sales numbers on that one too.
Yeah,
and like I know people defend these developers, and they should have their own talent, do what they want. I get it, but at the end of the day,
variety is not a bad thing, but
but if you're not bringing in money, you're going to get canned.
Sure.
So like Double Fine, like Silken had said, and Compulsion Games, South of Midnight, all-time peak on Steam, all time, day 1, 1,438 players.
They also stopped.
It doesn't work.
They even stopped reporting themselves at 1 million with just even the people logging in. You know, that tells you right there.
Yeah.
But you know what you just said, Clint? I'm going to say something that is going to ruffle some feathers, but it's the truth. Until you have proven yourself, when you are owned by a Microsoft or a Sony or not so much Nintendo, but you don't get to make what you want. That's not how that works.
You have to have something that's a money
when you
maker.
prove yourself, that's a different story. Yeah. But when they are just like Double Fine should have had to go to Phil or Sarah or Matt or whoever at the time and been like, hey, our guys want to make Keeper, and then he should have laughed them out of the fucking door and said, come back when you have something that we're going to fund. Because get that out of my face, we're not making that.
And like you said, to that point, make something that's good. So yeah, you make something that's good, and it's in the grand scheme of like what people want to play. So you made a new IP, you made money. Okay, now you can go make something that you want to play, and then if that fails, you make the second one to this one that you just made a lot of money on.
When you've made a couple things and they go, okay, we trust you. Now you still have to come to us to show us what you're making, but we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. If it's something I don't see, but you can, convince me, okay, we're good to go. But until you have proven that you have the support and can bring in the numbers and all that shit, you don't get to just make whatever you want. That's ridiculous. That's not how the fucking world works.
We all want developers to make things. We want new IPs, of course. We want new style of games and new heroes and heroines and stuff. But if you want to survive, you need to make money just like any other business.
Right.
It's facts. It's just how business is, sadly.
And I will say, some of them, to be fair, that what I just suggested probably did happen. Like in the case of Hellblade, I'm guessing that it wasn't like someone just emailed Phil Spencer and said, hey, we're making Hellblade 2, and he was like, okay, well, my philosophy is make whatever you want. I'm sure they probably went, okay, Hellblade was good. This can be a a big one for us or whatever. But I don't want to keep dogging on what's her name, Compulsion, because actually I thought South of Midnight was a good idea. Like, I mean, it is a good idea. Like, I shouldn't say I think, because it is a good idea. It's a good setting. It's a good character. It had a good story. Had good art design.
Good music.
How does that gameplay pass? How does somebody not go, okay, clearly this needs somebody else to get, you can do the story and all that shit. We need somebody else to make the actual game to this. Because actually, I even thought the actual level design was bad. What were you going to say, Nick?
Well, I was going to say, especially when you're coming from a place of the stop motion woman of color protagonist, you kind of have to step your game up to overcome that. Or otherwise you're not going to beat the narrative.
Sure. Yeah. Although I will say, to be fair, I don't think I saw, I mean, obviously some of that. I didn't see anywhere near what you would for other things. But also, to be fair, they might have been like, it's not even worth the effort because the game sucks.
Exactly.
So we don't have to waste our time on it.
It
was
a lot of woke go broke. A lot of woke go broke.
Yeah. Yes, but I didn't see it that much for that one. I really didn't. I obviously saw a shitload of it for Assassin's Creed. I saw a ton of it for Concord, so actually that kind of disputes my whole, it sucks, we don't have to waste our time. But I don't know if that one really, because it did have a setting which is like, okay, it's not being pandery. It actually does like matter to the setting and all that stuff. So I think in many cases, people, even if people tried, it was like, okay, you're really stretch on this one. Like, it's what this is about. So of course it's going to be there. And to be honest, it wasn't, I mean, obviously it actually had the part where she finds like the slave quarters or whatever in the very beginning of the game. But it wasn't like that's all it was about. It was relevant to it, but it wasn't the only thing it was about. But
it was part of the culture down there.
Sure. It was absolutely part of it. But like, imagine for a second. So I don't know if I agree with you that it didn't need combat. It needed combat that didn't suck. It needed level design that didn't suck. It had the other shit. It had the story. It had the character. It had good music. It had a good story. I think I said story, but it had all that. But the actual gameplay was so fucking bad. I don't know how Microsoft lets that go out the door as a first-party game.
Well, let's go back.
I guess 2 months earlier they did, or a year earlier they did let Hellblade 2 go out the door, which had even less gameplay. So
the combat, or the conversation that will always stick with me is I remember people talking about it. There was that one part early on where you're being chased, right? You're being chased out of wherever you're at, and it's supposed to feel nefarious. And they said, just stop.
Yeah.
And turn around. Yeah. It doesn't move. It doesn't come for you. You can just stand there the entire time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of makes you feel pressure, but the reality is there is no actual pressure. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like we've said, it's crappy, but obviously it needed to happen, and you don't want to see those developers go away. But it at the end of the day,
we're in an overserved market. We're also in an overserved market.
And I, for sure, and I will also say, so obviously we don't know who bought Ninja Theory, and we don't know who bought Undead Labs.
Yep.
But they both might be better off being owned by somebody else, because that somebody else might give them direction, especially Ninja Theory, who we know for a fact that Ninja Theory is an extremely talented studio.
Right.
Why couldn't they team up?
Ninja Theory have made some very, very good games in the past.
Yeah.
And they only made one game for Xbox, and it wasn't good. So, I know some people liked it, but I thought it was really, really poor effort myself. Them being under the ownership and having Big Brother watching over them at the right studio very well could get them back to what they were when Bandai Namco was the one publishing their stuff. And it could get them back to being a genuinely good studio.
I think we all collectively forgot. Yeah, I was going to say, we all collectively forgot Bleeding Edge.
I didn't forget that, but it wasn't... That was before Microsoft bought them, I thought.
I thought it was after.
Was it? Okay.
Because that came between
my timeline was messed up.
Hellblade 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess it would have been then. Okay. I thought it
But
came
I'm wondering,
Hellblade.
with obviously they're obviously very good developers, and they were making a new IP, right? It was a new IP.
Yeah, they were bought in 2018, so you're right then. Okay, sorry.
But I wonder if they did want to branch out and try something new and make something that they knew was going to hopefully stick, and then Phil or whoever was like, no, you need to make a Hellblade. Like, we want Hellblade to be a Xbox thing, like a come to us game or whatever. Like, if you want God of War, it's Hellblade. Obviously it didn't turn out that way, clearly. And I wonder if that's what he wanted, or if somebody higher up is what they wanted. And so like Rick said, if they are under new management, maybe they can do something that they want to do that will actually take off, which would be great, because that'd be a great slap to Microsoft.
Oh, I'm just, again, you can't. I remember when I don't remember if it was Phil Spencer that announced it or if it was Matt Booty or whoever it was, when they said, like, yeah, we're just kind of overseeing and we're letting them do what they want. I'm like, that's not how you run this. What are you thinking here?
That's what people want to hear,
right? But it's not the reality of it.
That's not how it works. It's a business. Businesses need to make money.
And beyond that, like, there's always the whole thing of, if you give a developer an infinite amount of time to make a game, they'll never release it, because they'll cut. Right. So you have to have. There's a push and pull to it, and there was only a pull and never a push, and that was the problem.
Right. I mean, you could almost point that to, like, that's why there's Kickstarter stretch goals, because they meet a stretch goal in this amount of time, and then they go make the game. If there was never a stretch goal or a time cut off, then they would just keep making it, adding things, keep making it, and it would never get released. Star Citizen.
That game will never release 1.0.
It will never release. I think at this point they're like, you know what, we can't release this. The meme has to live on. But yeah. Well, we're almost at 2 hours, gentlemen. Anything else you want to say about this, and then we'll start reading people's fortunes?
It's sad to see, but it was the obvious direction it was going to go. It doesn't make it doesn't make it any less painful for people, and I get that. No. I certainly sympathize with anybody who lost their job. But and you said it earlier, Clint. She looks like the executioner right now. But I still say, and I know, Stefan, you have a slightly different opinion, and I agree with what you say too. To be clear, I still say don't fully judge Asha on these just last couple months. Give her, let's say, a year to get Xbox as she needs, or as she envisions it to be, and then we judge her from there.
I will say, with some of the stuff coming out, I'm a little bit less confident than I was with her.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
It's
I don't
not as it was like, what, the first like month or so she was around. It's like, oh shit, this could be it. This could be good. I did
call out that she was hitting all the highlights and the easy wins, and I want to point out that out of all these all these headlines, she went for the big headline grabbing stuff is all the positive stuff, and you have to dig a little bit deeper in the byline to find the negative.
The positives is always going to have a negative with it.
For sure.
And here's where we are.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see her vision or what she
once she cleans up the mess that she inherited, which let's be honest. There's no disputing at this point. It's a fucking
Clearly.
mess. It's a complete fucking mess.
Yeah.
At that now, like, so I'll say January of next year, like right once the
Yeah.
the real
Dust
let's
settles.
say a year from now, once the new fiscal year begins,
Right.
that is when everything from that point forward we judge her with a microscope on. That's how I
Yep.
see it.
Yep.
And I
You
agree with that,
clearly
Silken. I agree with that. She did have to make cuts, as brutal as it is. She had to, but she definitely has not necessarily understood. This is what comes with not knowing the industry. She's not understood some of the, like, not visionaries, but some of the artistic minds that they've cut off. You know.
Yeah. Or even, you know, maybe like her hands were tied, like Rick said, and like maybe she did see it, but like, I have to right this ship, or else the whole thing goes. You know,
right.
You know.
Although that's sort of the fact you wouldn't like to see 25-year veterans of id laid off. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like guys that have been there forever.
Yeah.
But
or like you said as well, be like, okay, take the hit. We're keeping id on, so we're going to start using the graphics engine.
The architect of backwards compatibility in xCloud.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah. Like, why would you cut the back end of that? Because because I still think they're going to back on that cloud gaming a lot, whether I don't like it or don't use it. I think that's something they really want to fall back on, with prices going up and up and on everything. So to cut the back end out of that.
But if you don't have a cloud team, I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah.
That's
so
what I will say.
Like
I thought this was their time to shine, and it's not looking like it's.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
So
you know what I think is going to happen? And it's exactly what every one of us has said needs to be what they stay away from. I think they're going to start using contractors heavily again, even though they said they're not going to. I don't think you have a choice now. Like, you don't have the teams the manpower rather to do this without contractors.
I think I said it in Discord earlier that it feels like developers are more like freelancers now. Like, I'll work for you for 2 months. I'll work for you for 2 months. That's what it feels like developers are now. I don't know.
Yep.
I'm not a developer, so I can't know fully, but that's what it seems like. So, but anyways, on to fortunes, and hopefully some good fortunes for everybody.
Can I go first?
Go ahead, Nick.
Ready? This is for everybody listening currently on the VOD and just in the world. You are about to hear pleasant news, and I think we can all use that.
Yep.
Doubt. I'm pressing X to doubt on that.
On that note, I do promise next week's episode should just be fun and laughs.
Yes.
So. Watch them come in and they'll have to talk about why Wizards of the Coast is shuttering every major board
the
game
new
studio.
D&D rules fucking suck. Let's go. Let's see. Mine, I don't know, but this one could be okay, I guess. Happiness isn't having what you want, but rather in wanting what you have.
That seems pertinent to what we were just talking about.
I know. I was like, okay.
And mine seems rather specific and also Englishy at the same time to a release of this week. A bold and dashing adventure is in your future within the year. Mm-hmm. So it's a little Englishy there, but
is it saying you got a little captain in you?
No, because I don't have anybody in me.
Not until you get to the D.
That's a one-way street, my friend. But that seems a little Assassin's Creed Black Flaggy to me.
Oh, it does.
I can never get it to.
I got you, Nick. I got
to
you.
Focus.
Thank you.
All right. Nick, where can everybody find you?
I am Freight Conductor, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Discord, Steam, and Xbox.
Beautiful. Rick?
Witch4969 on Xbox, Steam, Discord, PlayStation until Sony decides to ban me because I said mean words about Herman Holst and Sheena.
Buy physical, no digital, buy physical.
Yeah, the Sony hit squad's probably going to find me soon.
Oh yeah, we'll all of a sudden have a copyright issue on our YouTube.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey, I'm just saying, Sony's got bigger fish to fry right now. Jermaine Dupri is going after him for $8 million of unpaid royalties.
Ooh.
I know that name, and I can't think of who it is.
Jermaine Dupri was he was a producer back in like the mid 2000s. You know, he was going after him for Mariah Carey song.
Oh,
a couple other. Yeah, he said they gypped him on royalties.
Yep. Spreading the Nerd, you can find us if you go in the description for the show. You can find our Discord there. You can also find us on pretty much any social media site. TikTok. I'm going to start being apparently using anything but Threads. I got another kickback from them that apparently my license doesn't say my age. So probably going to be moving towards X and Blue Sky more.
Zuckerberg hasn't been able to properly steal your identity yet. That's why.
I guess so. Yeah. TikTok and of course YouTube. Just type in "Spreading the Nerd" on any of those, and you'll find us. And like I said, the link for the Discord is in the description.
Shout out to your short game. I just want to put that out there. The last short you put on YouTube and TikTok,
I was
phenomenal.
Proud of that. I was proud.
Phenomenal.
Of that one.
Like it was.
I was proud of that one.
Yeah. Props to you, sir.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I want to do more stuff, but like I said, I've been so friggin' busy. By the time I take a shower and eat, it's late, and I basically go to bed. So, but we'll see. We'll see what.
The Phoenix has not risen from the ashes on time.
I don't have.
He ran out of gas
Monday. I don't have a Monday. He was like, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" And I didn't say anything. Usually, if somebody asks me what I'm doing, I'm like, "Hey, I have a podcast. Swing by." You're not coming because I'm gonna complain about you. So yeah,
what
Monday
if Silking It is really Phoenix in disguise?
Son of a, that's fighting words. That's rude.
I didn't say he is. Yeah. I said what if he is.
That's still, I don't know.
What if he's faking the French thing and he's actually this guy?
I did meet Silking It, so
or did you?
I could have been a doppelganger. It could have been someone he hired.
Right.
But I don't have him on Monday. Hopefully he takes his test next week and passes it this time. Yeah. So, and then, like I said, next week, hopefully we'll have a fun episode. It's going to be a busy one. It'll be us as well as 5 or 6 people just talking about tabletop stuff, and then just D&D, and then just talking nerd stuff. I've been talking to them, and they just want to talk nerdy for however long. And I'm like, sounds good to me. So that'll be next week. Hopefully we'll see you all there. Until then, have a good week, and hopefully your job stays safe. You're not working for Xbox, so you should be fine.
That's right.
Have a good one, folks.
We're selling physical PS5 games.